Hooray, it's working and we're recording.
This is not the optimal.
Not optimal? What do you mean? What a perfect setup. It's just... Yeah. Hey, oh, there's the curtains behind us. Wow, I've got those set up and everything. Here's our normal, intro thing where I'm just like, hey, John! And...
hey, Klaus! Yay. Alright, are we doing this?
We've been doing it.
We are in the era of remakes.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about some video game remakes. And the first one, are you a big Resident Evil guy?
I got really into the first Resident Evil remake when Resi 1 came out on GameCube. That was my Resident Evil.
Yeah, same here. That was the first time I got into Resident Evil, and I blasted through that and Resident Evil 0 shortly thereafter. And then I kind of let it go for a while again. I didn't really pay attention because by all accounts 5 and 6 were kind of dog shit. After that I kind of fell off until Klaus. Resident Evil 7 came out, and I had a nice new PlayStation VR set, and I was like, ooh, I want to try this scary new game on the VR,
Spoopy.
Glad I did. One of the top 5 gaming experiences I've ever had.
Wow. Ever.
I loved it so much. About a year ago, Capcom released the Resident Evil 2 remake, and loved the remake of Resident Evil 2.
I've heard pretty much nothing but praise for it. I hear it's wonderful. I myself haven't picked it up because...
To follow up, Capcom decided, hey, we made a lot of bank with that. It was a good success. Let's put out Resident Evil 3 remake.
Ooh. And is it just as good as the others?
No. Well, but I don't have any history, any nostalgia whatsoever for Part 3, for the original. I never played it, never played Nemesis. So therefore, I can't tell you what's missing. I can't tell you what's different. From what I understand, they cut some stuff, they changed some stuff up. I don't care, because it's still pretty good. I still like it a whole lot. I blasted through it in 7 hours. I rarely, if ever, play games twice these days, right? Because who's got the fucking time, right?
I do.
No, you're editing our shit, which, as I understand, just takes a whole lot of time and effort.
Sure fucking does.
We need to hire a marketing firm.
We need to get a better social media presence and probably run stuff on Facebook and all sorts of other shit, but...
shit, that's gonna have to be you. I don't have the stomach for Facebook.
I do the fucking editing. I think you can get a stomach for Facebook. Fucking hours of my life.
For a huge payoff.
Yeah.
This is a game I would totally do again, just because I'd be like, I want to see if I can do better.
Oh wow!
I want to see if I can find all the secrets. I want to see if I can unlock all the shit. And they have different things that you can unlock if you go through it again, and it's fun, man. It's more actiony than Resident Evil 1 and 2. It plays more like an action movie.
As a more actiony game, that was kind of where Resident Evil 5 and 6 lost a lot of folks. The more that it became an action game, the less that it was a horror game. They weren't survival horror at all. You had tons of ammo, you were never scared. Would you still say that this, does it ride a line? Is it still survival horror, or is it more action game but just better done than 5 and 6?
Yeah, it's not really survival horror anymore. I don't feel that way. I never felt like I was at a loss for items. And as far as the horror part goes, yeah, there's some good scares in it. There's some good jump scares, and definitely a lot of zombies, and you gotta, and they're smart too. And they'll grab you from, like, they got extra long arms apparently.
Oh.
I don't mind it though. I don't mind the more actiony approach. It definitely is a lot more fast paced. But I loved it. I love Jill Valentine as a character. I think she's just like this badass chick. There are some great locations in this game. Seems like with Resident Evil games, my favorite locations are always the first, like the first location in the game. So like in the first one, the mansion, the first part of the mansion I love the best. In Resident Evil 2, you love the police station the most. That's like the most iconic part of Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 3, you're in downtown Raccoon City, but there's also an awesome location later on in a hospital that's super tense and spooky. Hospitals are always scary, right? It comes with an extra game, a multiplayer game called Resident Evil Resistance, which is one of those what's it called, like asymmetrical kind of games, right? Where it's 4 versus 1. So 4 survivors work against like the evil mastermind, right? I get that the hardcore Resident Evil fans are probably disappointed by some of the cuts, and it's probably not as like high quality of a remake as Resident Evil 2 is. I think it still looks as good, it sounds as good, it plays as well, but it's not as meaty, I guess. But that said, I loved it. I thought it was great. I hope there's a rumor that they're going to be redoing Resident Evil 4 next.
I don't know. I guess this is our age showing. Like 4 still seems so recent enough to me that I'm like, why is there already going to be a remake of it? Game came out a few years ago. Fuck, why do you need this shit?
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Resident Evil 3, I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm not like a hardcore fan of the series. I like the series quite a bit, but I don't know all the ins and outs of every detail of the series. Yeah. It's good enough for me.
Nice. Well, hey, that if it's good enough for you, then it's good enough for, I don't know, probably somebody. Fuck it.
Nobody cares.
I'm really glad to have you back, Cloud. Really glad.
Yeah,
action!
Oh!
We got another remake to talk about. This one I bet you're looking forward to.
Oh man, it's the one that everyone's been looking forward to. It's the big fucking overproduced fucking bullshit stupid nonsense story, goddamn pile of shit. 6 was better, 9 was better, even fucking 8 was better, but everybody's just tugging themselves over number 7.
I don't have as much to say about this one as Resident Evil.
Really?
All right, can I explain why?
No,
because I'm only like a quarter of the way into the damn thing, right? So I can't go into as great a detail about it. But what I can say about it is that I fucking like it a whole lot. It's what I've always wanted an RPG to be. Like there's action, shit moves along. I mean, there's cheesy fucking cliche story and a lot of grunting and they don't know how to react. It's like Klaus, say something to me.
How you doing, John?
There's a lot of that. There's fucking a ton of that. There's sorts of cheesy emoting like but the way the game plays is really, really great. I fucking love it. I love that they figured out how to make the active time battle system like fun and actiony, but the fact that you can go in as Cloud and you can slash the shit out of the people and then fucking hit the X button and a menu pops up and you can very quickly select an ability or a spell or an item and then keep going, and you can keep an eye at the same time on your party and their health, and then you can push the up button and bump over to Tifa, and you go over to Tifa and you start playing as her and punching shit out of people and hitting the X button and pulling up her abilities, and it's all very seamless, very quick, and I fucking love it. I'm so glad they finally figured out how to make an RPG fun to play. Dear holy God, the music, so good. From what I've played so far, which admittedly, is less than a quarter, I adore it. I can't wait to get back to it. It's fun to play. I've never had an RPG that has been fun to play, and I'm not like you. I actually enjoy JRPGs for the most part. You know, like I love Dragon Quest, as we've established.
Yep.
But this one is actually, I want to play the battles. You know, that never happens for me in RPGs. I'm more into the story. I'm usually more into the story and exploring and whatnot in RPGs. This one, I'm like, yeah, let's get back to a battle. I want to beat some ass. You know, I love it. I think it's wonderful. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII, you already have it. But even if you're not, I think this would be just a great jumping in point. You know, this would just be a great game to jump into if you like big world action-y type games.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
For all the fucking shit I give it, it looks awesome. So
yeah. All right.